At the conclusion of the special session last year, funding was removed for the Emergency Medical Assistance Program. All that was written in the public record about that was changes to the welfare bill. But records have shown that that's going to affect, Emergency Medical Assistance Program funding is going to affect thousands, half of them in Hennepin County. Can you speak to the effect this might have and what recourse might be taken? Governor and the Republican leadership as well?
Well, I was not personally aware of it at the time. Commissioner Jessen, I don't think at that point in our first 6 months was fully aware, cognizant of the implications of it. It came, in fairness, from the Republican chairs of the committee. I don't know which one, Senator Hann or Representative Abler, and I think there was an intentionality there. So, I mean, it's really, I think, incumbent on them to say what their intention was and whether this was the outcome that they intended, and if so, why. And if not, let's go back and correct it. I certainly would like to correct it. I think if some of it really goes beyond the pale of what Minnesotans think is fair treatment of fellow human beings, which is to discontinue people's emergency treatment and threaten their lives. So I hope we can revisit it, and I hope we can find agreement. We're not going to push any of this to the extreme. We're going to keep within the boundaries of what most, almost all Minnesotans would say is responsible and humane public policy.
Speaker Zellers, Leader Sincham, I wanted to return to an earlier question that Governor Dayton answered about the Emergency Medical Assistance Program. Funding was removed for it at the end of the special session. Two-part question, your take on how that impacts Minnesotans, and two, all that was written in the public record about that at the end of the special session was changes to welfare bill. So how does that impact Minnesotans, and what can you say about government transparency, given that not much about that was disclosed?
Well, again, as I said the last time, I don't believe that Commissioner Jessen, Chairman Gottwald, Chairman Abler, Chairman Hahn, or their Democrat leads were working in a way, and in what we saw of them, and we were actually pretty surprised at how well they worked together on this issue, that they were in any way intentionally doing anything that was going to harm Minnesotans. I don't think you can assume that about anybody, any parties at the table, but it is one of the biggest, most intricate parts of our state budget. So again, if there's a mistake that needs to be made, or mismade that needs to be corrected, they'll do that. I don't know how much more complicated. I'm not familiar with all the details. I don't think, if you heard from the governor, I don't think he was very familiar with them as well. So we will look at it, we'll evaluate it, and if there needs to be a fix or a correction, we'll do that. But I'm not going to say, you know, right here, nefarious, not nefarious, they were guilty, not guilty. I don't think that's fair to the people who are working on it, because they did work very well. Commissioner Jessen and all, both Republican and Democrat leads on that committee, worked very well together on that bill and has some real, what I would consider remarkable reform that is going to be nation leading. So I think we'll wait for the details to come out.